Yo, here with my G Chief, very first WaveWarz artist interview, bro. How you feeling, man?
Okay. I didn't know I was the first one. It's an honor, bro. It's an honor. You're one of the guys. You all showed me love. Y'all showed me love when I first came into this base, man. So I appreciate it, and it's only right.
Nah, no doubt, bro. Definitely a pleasure to have you. And yeah, hear about your story, especially, what you're cooking right now. I know you're cooking up an album. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about that in a second. But before we get into all that, bro, like what started you with music, bro? Like what gave you the music bug, bro? It's always a dope story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good question, bro. Honestly, man, I never thought I would ever do music, and I just never did, man. I really saw myself as an artist when I was in Dallas. 'Cause I was raised in Dallas, Texas, really a city called Grand Prairie. But when I moved back out there at the age of 19, I was selling clothes, man. I was known as JC the designer, and I was just buying clothes. And it was a brand. It's my brand still. It's called Eternal Abundance. So at a 9-pointed star, and it would always say Eternal Abundance or Abundance Eternal. People was rocking with it, man. And the lady who taught me how to make clothes had a studio. So she would record music, and it would always be artists coming in booking studio time. So she had a little room, and I would be in that room, like, cutting vinyl and designing shirts and shit. But I would always be hearing the artists. And then sometimes she would call me out there. Artists would ask me what you think about my studio set. I'd give them my thoughts on it. And then it kind of evolved into us fucking around and freestyling in the booth sometimes. And then just kept going with designing clothes, and fast forward a little bit, fell on hard times, and I felt like I had such a unique experience and story that I couldn't tell nobody. There was nobody I could talk to that I knew that could understand me. So I just turned on a beat one day and started writing, bro, and recording. And before I knew it, it was 100 songs on my pen lab, dog. And I would just listen to it because it made me feel complete. And I eventually realized like it got to be given to other people because they'll feel it too. And that's how I got into it.
100 songs, bro. How long did it take you? Hold up, let me plug in my little fan, bro. I want my computer to start tripping out. But yeah, man, how long did it take you to record 100 songs?
Between 1 to 3 months.
What? So you was doing like damn near 1 to 2 a day?
Yeah, 1 to 3 a day for sure.
Man. Okay, so of all the songs that you made during that time period, are there any you saved? You coming up on this Native Roots album? Are you about to put any of those 100 songs on this, or are these about to be like brand new songs?
Yeah, so 5 of the songs, not the first 5. Actually, yeah, I think it is the first 5. So the first 5 songs were made in 2024, early 2024. So the first 5 would be songs that were early in like some of the first songs I ever made, and then the last 4 are in 2025. So it'll be a little bit of my sound now, getting closer to my sound now. But I wanted to do it like that so people had the beginning and kind of how it's going, a good mix.
Okay. So let me ask you this: like, of those songs, of the 100, were there any that like stood out to you in particular and was like, "Yo, this is gonna be a hit"? You know what I mean?
Um, Not while I was making them, man, because they're all unique. So like one day, funny story, bro, it was me and my brother, and then my brother invited some of his homies over, and we all took shrooms, right? This was like when I had hit about, I think I was at probably 70 to 80, and we in the backyard off shrooms, and I'm like, hey, I started making music. Y'all mind if I play some music? I know these shrooms gonna kick in. Like, why don't I just play some? I got plenty. So they're like, yeah, dog. the shrooms start kicking in and we playing the songs and we go from a range of emotions. Now, what happened?
Yo, here we go. You see me?
Okay. Yeah, it was just my screen. I can't see nothing right now, but shit, it's all good.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, we was in the backyard, man, and we went from a range of emotions from getting up and dancing to sitting, chilling, bobbing our head to everybody damn near got tears in their eyes. And they finally told me, like, one of them looked at me and was like, "Hey, bro, you got something. I'm glad we got to experience this and get in the studio because that was the next step for me is getting in the studio. I just had a raw sound. But so no, I didn't know I had a hit, but just seeing how it made people feel was enough for me.
Nah, that's really it, bro. That's really where it comes from. Like that feeling that people get from your music is really changing. Because I know, me myself being an artist, like when you're making it alone and you really vibing with it hits. But once you see it connect with somebody else, that's when you like, okay, let me take this serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I see that you're fundraising for your new album, Native Roots. How are you planning on going about this, and what are you going to use the funds for? Is it more for the production or marketing, or like you seem like a very business savvy kind of guy? You know what I mean? So I want to hear like how you're planning on allocating these funds, and also let people know the Kickstarter link if you can, so you can check it out.
Yeah. So man, really with Native Roots One, just to give y'all a little background about it, the reason it's called Native Roots is because I'm a native man, Choctaw, from Alabama. Well, I originate from Alabama. My family, we're actually from Choctaw County in Alabama, southern Alabama. Um, so yeah, I was born in Alabama, raised in Dallas, Texas, and I've lived in Cali and Illinois. I tell you this because I have native roots, but also an experience in North America. So that's why I call it native roots. It's the experience of a native man in North America with the connection to God, because without God, I wouldn't be here.
Nice.
So that's the gist of it. Now, when it comes to the crowdfunding, man, I went the Kickstarter route because I've been researching whether I should go VCs to raise funding to really make this project how I want to, or should I just crowdfund? And a VC investor told me about Kickstarter. He was like, "Man, you might as well go this route because what you're trying to offer us doesn't appeal to us because we're mainly for profit."
Mm.
So I decided to go the Kickstarter route. And when it comes to Native Roots, man, the gist of it, bro, is a revolutionary sound that's gonna change the music industry forever, and then tie in the Web3 space. So ownership, being able to revenue share with listeners, like that appeals to me. Having people connect with an artist. We're used to artists being star-like figures, we unattainable. But with Web3, people become attainable. You can see real people for who they are, not just the facade. So raising funding for Native Roots, and the reason why it's so much is because it's revolutionary. What the funds will go to is the production, the marketing, to get specific with it, man, the fully mixing and mastering.
Nice.
I know there's some engineers that can really cook up on a higher level than the ones I've been working with. So that's where a lot of the funding is going to go to. Studio sessions. So if I need to re-record the music, I can re-record the music. Book longer sessions, no time constraints. Content creation. So videographers making videos and being able to chop those videos up for advertisement. Then we get into advertisement on Instagram, X, Snapchat, and paying for memberships on these streaming platforms, Apple Music, Tidal, SoundCloud, Spotify, and then of course marketing the post product. So once the album's done, after getting the graphics fine-tuned, then being able to market it again for everybody else. And then what's after that, is to be determined. But I mentioned a little hint earlier. There's a reason why I'm not expounding on that, but Web3 is the future. So that's the plans for Kickstarter. If you want to go to the link, man, before I tell you to go to the link, I want you to go to my page, whether it's Instagram, Chief JC CHIEFJAEC on Instagram, or my ex, CHIEFATN, and listen to the music first, man. If it pulls on your heart, then go to my Kickstarter link that's on my Instagram and my ex. Listen to
Nah, that's what's up, dog. I think you're doing it a really dope way. And I want to talk about your influence. You said you're influenced by God to create this album. Did you ever have like a quote unquote moment that like made you go more towards the spiritual path, or was this something that you've like been on your whole life? You know what I'm saying? Like, would you say you went through an awakening, or you like just been on the same path your whole life?
Um, so I was raised by very churchy, a churchy family, man. My Southern Baptist type vibes. So like reading the Bible every holiday season was a norm. So I can't say that going towards God was something that I did on my own. You know, I had a little bit of that programming from an early age, but I strayed away from the Lord. And I strayed away from the Lord around that, you know, around the teenage age, man. I got a little rowdy, man. I got rowdy, and I started losing faith in God, or forgetting that God was the source of everything, just being young and naive. And what really brought me back to the Lord was life. Like at the age of 19, I got in a car crash, and I got in a car crash going on my way back to Texas, and it was in Oklahoma, a place called Miami, Oklahoma. Look it up, y'all. It's in the middle of nowhere. But basically, was driving. Me and the homie had smoked so much weed, dozed off, ran into the back of a semi. You see it? I don't know if y'all can see, but I got a scar right here. But I got stuck in the windshield, and then the car stopped, but I was stuck in the windshield, so I had no foot on the brake and pedal. So it kind of hit, kind of went back a little bit, and then hit again, and I fell out the window. So basically, long story short, man, I'm in the ambulance, and they're like, "Stay awake," but I just saw it going like this, and it got like this, and before it closed, I just heard a voice, and it said, "Do you want it to be over?"
Hey,
And I was like, I thought for a little bit, and I was like, "No, I got shit to do." And once I decided that, bro, I shit you not, started to be able to see again. But that was the beginning of a huge journey. And I went back to college coming up on the school year. So I got in that crash in the summer, June, July. Went back in for baseball. I was playing in August. And then when it got to about November, I started really, basically, I started meditating heavy because I had all that downtime from the crash, and I was just playing baseball. And one day in my dorm, I heard a voice again, a very similar voice, and the voice told me, "You have two options. One option will be easy up front, but it'll be hard for the rest of your life. The second option will be hard as fuck up front, extremely hard, but the rest of your life will be easy." And I figured the easy option was staying in school, the hard option was not knowing what I was. And so I left school, and through that journey, told you about JC the designer, but I just went on a journey where I just didn't know where I was going, man. I just had faith, ran into music, and now I see why.
bro, I totally agree with you, man. A lot of musicians have the same kind of trajectory, kind of story. Whereas, especially when you get started with music, pretty much everybody and their mama is telling you, "Nah, this is not. You can't do this." You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm glad you number one took up the mantle. Was like, "Nah, I'm gonna go for it anyway." You know what I mean? And yeah, it's definitely hard up front, but definitely gets smooth as you continue life, and it's really rewarding as well because I feel like you learn a lot, especially if you go down the quote unquote right path, as they like to say. But yeah, man, definitely dope hearing that. I definitely feel that energy that you where you're supposed to be. But I gotta ask you, man, the day you stepped up on the WaveWarz stage, bro, what made you want to do that? maybe we should tell the story a little bit, about what happened that day, because that was pretty exciting, man, and took some nuts. You feel me? So, yeah, I wanna hear about that, man, and yeah, let us know how your whole thought process was, what was going on, and what made you wanna come up and be the artist that
Uh, yeah, you're right. Looking back at it, does take mucho grande cojones.
day.
So, yeah, now I was listening. I remember that whole week when I joined in on the spaces. You were talking about it, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna join my first WaveWarz on the listen. And I remember you asked me would I ever do it, and I was like, nah, man, I don't see music as a competition, and I still don't, by the way.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah, man, I'm not interested. I don't see it as a competition. I just love the art, so I'll support. And I get into the space. I actually showed up like 20 minutes late, and I'm listening, and I hear Cannon talking heavy to Thanos, and I'm like, damn, this really is a battle. Let me just hear what's going on. And then I figured that bro didn't show up. So in my head is like, dang, was he scared of the pressure? And I keep listening, and then I hear you, and you like, man, shit, I might just have to step up and do it. I was
Yeah.
like, nah, the host. In my head, I'm like, nah, the host can't do that, bro. Like, her can't hear the host. Like, that's doing too much. So I was like, yeah, I got plenty of music. Like, why not? So I unmuted myself and said, I'm with it. And then Cannon had a lot of confidence too. So part of me, I'm a man too. I was like, nobody in here feel like they can step up. Like, why not me? So
Oh,
yeah, stepped up, man. Just wanted to bring a vibe for everybody for real.
yeah, most definitely, dog. Like, I was interested, when you was dropping the unique samples and whatnot, because it seemed like you was a little, even though you weren't prepared, like you came in and you didn't know you was actually gonna be on that date. It seemed like you had a nice little trio of songs there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems like you at least either have a deep catalog to look into, and you pick some unique sounds. You had one with that dope ass sample. You know what I mean? Then you had a super unique one for the last song. So yeah, I think you did it. I think you did a good job showcasing music, and I'm sure got your name out there. You feel me? So yeah, let's talk about post the battle. Like, what were your thoughts on like your experience after the battle?
Um, just in general,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I liked it. I liked how it's set up, man. You do a good job. Your team does a good job. Candy's all. Uh, I like it, bro. I like that it gets a lot of people involved, which is a something unique to Web3. I feel like it brings people together more than traditional music. Traditional music is gatekept, but Web3, it's the homies and anybody is welcome. So I like that a lot. And yeah, my thoughts though, when it comes to the actual battle, I noticed that I'm very new to the space. Not only am I new to the space, but I have a unique sound. So, people react to that differently. And I kind of thought about that going into the battle. And salute to Cannon. I think Cannon, he has a niche and he's running with it, bro. Like,
Yeah.
he's a battle rapper type guy. That's how he's coming. The energy in the battle rap flow. Where me, I'm speaking of experiences, and these experiences are all different, so they all sound different. So I feel like in that aspect, it was a cool battle just to see polar opposites. But yeah, bro, I enjoyed it a lot, and I'm just, I'm happy that y'all had me, bro. For real, that's how I felt after.
No doubt, no doubt. So before you had the opinion that music is not a competition, et cetera, which I agree with you on. The main reason we do wave wars what we do is we believe it brings more engagement. You know what I'm saying? And it makes people just care and quote unquote invest more into both the artist and the music. You know what I'm saying? So it creates a unique experience, which is why we do it. And one of the big reasons why I host the way I host is I want to make sure it feels like friendly competition. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel like, you know what I'm saying? It don't feel like beef. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I'm glad you felt like that. and you didn't feel threatened in that aspect. And to see you come up, man, and really showcasing music, that was dope. So now I want to ask you this. So going forward with your career, I know you said you're into Web3, et cetera, et cetera. Do you also see yourself putting your music on streaming platforms? Do you see yourself touring? Like, what is the rest of your trajectory you would like to?
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's a good question, bro. Honestly, being in this space now and coming from Web 2, like we all came from, I realized that the way to go is to mix them both. Um, but not in the way that you would think. So, like, of course, the music will go on all streaming platforms, but the music will also go in NFTs and be able to be revenue shared and collected and have its own experience that way. But the main thing for me is just building relationships with quality people. Um, so, touching the grass, as they say. So, performing live, sharing the music live, going to festivals and conventions, and making music easily accessible by everybody. That's the only thing about me right now is that a lot of my music and Native Roots is 9 songs out of I got like 120 right now,
Right.
but a lot of my music isn't accessible yet. So that's the main thing for me, just finding the right vehicles to make it accessible, have it collectible and rare on the Web3 side, but also have it widely accessible on the Web2 side. So that's how I see them being bridged together, and then eventually there'll be a trade-off where some people go here, some people go there, but that's my vision for it.
Yeah, it sounds dope, man. And you definitely making it happen. So you said something about revenue sharing, and that's always been a hot topic, especially in Web3 music and whatnot, because part of the reason that people go to Web3 is because streaming already doesn't pay out. You know what I'm saying? So like, which revenue would you be sharing? Would it be like the streaming royalties, or would it be like in Web3 type thing?
It'll be more Web3, so royalties. Just being that because people can resell your NFT, so that's
Right.
more what I'm talking about in revenue sharing. Because to me, so I'm not gonna go on a tangent, but to me, NFTs, the only way NFTs become widely accessible or valuable to everybody is when you digitize assets. And what makes an asset is its value, its rarability and also its ability to make cash flow. So my my image I want people to think of in their mind is if Michael Jackson, my goal, it's debatable, but my goal, if Michael Jackson put his album as an NFT, number one, everybody would buy that shit till it's sold.
Right.
Then people will see that it's so valuable an asset, a digitized asset, and they would continue to resell it. Let's say he put a 10% royalty. He's getting 10%, but they're getting 90% off of buying an asset and then selling it again. Something that is not accessible in real music unless you own a piece of the label, which Mike did. He owned 50% of Sony, but a lot of us don't have 50% of Sony money, but you may have enough to buy an NFT from an artist that is producing a valuable asset. So that's what I mean by revenue sharing, giving the people an ability to come up and make money off of supporting you.
So a lot of people kind of have this negative stigma towards NFTs. And I know you used to be in Web 2, but you seem to assimilate it pretty well. Like you're just like, oh yeah, this is definitely dope technology. Yo, this works. What do you ever have the stigma and slash or what broke the stigma for you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you saying the stigma of Web3 in general?
In Web3, NFTs, et cetera, et cetera. Because right now, if you say NFT to a regular everyday music fan, they're probably like, oh, no, 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 no. You know what I'm saying? They'll probably run away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. what broke the stigma for me, well, the reason why I never had one is that I'm a learner, bro. I'm a learner, and the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know shit. So when you learn this technology and you think of it not in a stigmatic type, don't think of it like how society's trying to brainwash you to think of it. Think of it of what are the cons and what are the pros. You know, we live in a world that has polarity. You know, there's a law of polarity. You know, an opposite, positive, bad, good. Everything has two sides to it, man. So you have to open up your mind and figure out what's the negatives of this shit, what's the positives of this shit. And that's what I did, man. So I embraced the positives, especially when I'm talking to my people in Web3, because we got a lot of positives. I'll tell you one, we're so early in this thing, it's like we're Internet Explorer.
Yeah.
That ain't out of Google yet. You know what I'm saying? So that means we have all this runway. So, but if you're too busy thinking this is a scam, you know, stay poor. Like that's just the gist of it, man. Stay poor and stay closed minded.
Nah, I totally feel you on that because it's like right now as musicians, there's very cool ways to like monetize one's music, unless you get like really popular. You know what I mean? Like it's like unless you're really popular, music is very much not a viable career for most people. But now that we have Web3, I definitely see a reality where there's a bunch of what you call working wage musicians. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, it's like black and white. You either you got it all or you ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? So like I think Web3, even Spotify in a certain sense, helped there to be now this kind of quote unquote middle class of musicians that has their fans, has their people that mess with them. But the problem with the streaming model that most people are used to these days is that you still need a bunch of streams in order to like eat healthy and like or live a regular life. You know what I mean? Whereas Web3 finally gives musicians the opportunity to sell something like they could sell mixtapes. Because back in the day, at least you could sell mixtapes. You'd be like, yo, buy this mixtape for $10, blah, blah. And artists was eating like that. You feel me? But now I think NFTs, but it might need a little rebrand. Don't get me wrong, it might need a little rebrand. But like I think with enough time and with enough of a good phrasing and good branding, like NFTs can definitely make a dent in the music industry. So let me ask you. So I like the way you're going about it. How do you plan on getting people to buy the NFTs that you're selling? You know what I'm saying? Not only the first time, but the second time, and the resells and resells. What are you going to do to like cause that type of longevity? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to that Michael Jackson example. The only reason why, if he did put his album as an NFT, it would sell out is because of who he is, and that's the gist of every artist, man. The impact you have on people translates to the sales. You know, the value you provide for society if you have something valuable. So all I'm gonna focus on, man, is honing in my craft. You know, making my product more quality. That's all I can do, you know. I'm a I'm a man at the end of the day. Like I'm a man that just so happens to express his creativity through music, videos. Yeah, that's just my means of expressing my creativity. So I'll do that till the end of time. So the all I can really do is continue to make my product more quality, and through doing that and sharing it with the people willingly, um, you know, the people will immortalize it. So that's what I'm focused on and that, bro. I also wanted to ask you too, pretty much the same thing, but what do you think the NFT space needs, or what's that rebrand you were talking about that the NFT space needs?
Yeah. So I was here for pretty much all the music NFT waves in the very beginning, and I think what kind of made it die the way it did was not only that, one of the major platforms stopped building in sound.xyz, but also like the value proposition was a little off. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, I can buy this NFT, but like it might take years to resell. You know what I'm saying? Or it might be, and people are kind of in this instant gratification type energy. You know what I mean? Like I know you know what I'm talking about. You feel me? So they would buy these NFTs and they'd be like, man, this artist is not, going to be famous in 10 years or whatever. Or I mean, 2 minutes or whatever. So man, I feel like I got scammed or whatever. That's how they would feel. So I think it needs to be more so about what the NFT gives as value rather than just simply the reselling aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's extremely important. Like, I think there needs to be things done with the technology of what blockchain could do to actually make the NFT inherently valuable to hold in one's wallet. You know what I'm saying? And once we get to that place, oh yeah, you kind of like off camera right now. You like on the edge of the camera. You like,
Okay, let me.
yes,
You can see me now.
a little bit more in that same direction. Get you in the middle. There you go.
Okay, good.
But yeah, man, I think that's gonna be a fix, man. Put in like real value behind the NFT itself. You feel me? Like, what can it do? What is it? So, and which we're actually working on. We're very close to dropping a new music NFT platform. I've been working with a group for the past like 7-8 months, and we've been building in the background. I haven't said too much about it because I'm like, yo, I don't want to talk until it's done, but people know that we've been working on something. But yeah, once it's out, folks will understand.
Okay. I want to ask about it, but I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna ask you a little in due time.
Exactly, man. But trust, dog. Like, I've just seen so much of what worked and what hasn't worked, and there's actually amazing. Like, after studying the blockchain, building WaveWarz, and seeing the real capacity of this stuff, I'm like, oh yes, bro. There's some fire shit that can be done with music NFTs, etc., etc. And it's definitely 100% going to be a new wave because like a lot of people are tired of streaming, even the biggest artists. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we'll get it done, bro.
Real futuristic, man.
Yeah, bro, that's really it, man. So let me ask you this, before we're about to get out of here soon. Let me get your final thoughts on like where everything is headed, like as far as your career, Web3, where do you fit in? Like, what's the vision going forward, and then what's the immediate next steps to acquire that vision?
My vision for. All right, I'll break it down. I'll start with Web3. So my vision for Web3 is mass adoption. That's definitely huge for me. Mass adoption, and then having the builders come together under one roof and get this thing mass adopted. Because in the way I see it is that we can't do this without each other. So yeah, a little bit about where I'm going with this. Yeah, I'm not gonna really announce it right now, but that's definitely my vision for Web3, and y'all will see something, sooner than later. My vision for myself is to continue honing my craft and continue creating my reality, man. Like that's all. I'm a simple man. Like that's all I can do is continue to create my reality, and that's my vision for myself. And through doing that, the music becomes more quality. My life becomes more quality. The impact I have on the world becomes more quality. So, yeah, I will throw this out there, man. I'm moving somewhere new right now. I'm in St. Louis, and I'm moving somewhere new. And I really want my guys, to pull up, man. Once I secure my spot, have a good get together with builders, and just chop and enjoy ourselves for a weekend, man. Show everybody a good time. You invited Hurricane,
You already know.
the guys, but that's one of my visions too. And was it a third one you mentioned?
Your vision as far as Web3, your vision as far as your career. Like, I don't think you fully mentioned. I mean, I guess you kind of did. You kind of did answer that. But yeah, bro, I think that was it.
Yeah, in regards to the career, it's just continuing to create my reality, man. I'm a little superstitious and revealing everything,
I feel that. I feel that.
but yeah, just know I got this pen,
Yep.
and I'm putting it to paper. And you know, that's how I will throw this out there for everybody. If you know, vinyl Davis, if you create your reality, because you're the intermediary between your spirit and your physical is your mind. So when you get these thoughts, y'all, when you put them on paper and you continue to read them, you know, you write them like, I am so grateful and thankful now that, so on and so forth. And you continue reading that. Number one, you start to cultivate belief in it. And when you cultivate belief into something, it becomes possible. That's how you pull that thing from an idea and you start making it physical. Your moves from then on will only be in alignment with that thing that you keep repeatedly putting in your mind. So that's how we see people who are dumb, will consider dumb, achieve greatness, you know, because they repeatedly put a thought in their mind. So if there's any closing statements, that's my closing statement, man. Y'all got to focus on creating y'all reality. I am, and I know Hurricane is, and the team is. So, yeah. And thanks for having me, bro, for sure.
Easily, dog. Shout out to my G, Chief ATM. Follow him at Twitter at Chief ATM. Man, don't sleep on my G, man. Big plans coming through. Looking forward to Data Boost. What? Oh wait, I can't say when's it coming out, but I would want to ask this: are you gonna like document the process, like anything like that, or
Man, all right, I'm gonna throw this out there because you mentioned that. I'm not gonna document the process of native roots, but what I am gonna do is I am making a documentary type thing, but all it is me visiting Native American reservations and performing a free show at the reservations. And also, for me, it's a soul searching thing, but just to show people what's really going on, show people a spiritual experience that's in a documentary type form, but visiting these reservations, giving them free things, you know, giving back to the community and performing for free. Like that's a big vision of mine. I can't give you the timeline, but y'all will know because this is one of the first WaveWarz interviews with an artist, man. This is something y'all could look forward to and be like, oh, he said that.
thanks? That's what it's all about. Create your reality. Yo, thank you, Chief, for joining us, man. We'll catch you, you know, around on the spaces and whatnot, man. That's the blessings to all your journey. If there's any way we can help you, already know. Hit us up, man. You already know.
Yeah, likewise. Keep winning, boss. I appreciate it.
Without a doubt, man. Peace.